Welcome to Adobe Photoshop CS6, Marquee Selection and Move Tools. After completing this unit, you will be able to select and deselect part of an image, manipulate and free transform your selection, move objects within the workspace, and undo an action. In this unit, we will look at the Marquee Selection Tools and Move tool of Photoshop CS6. With an image open in the workspace, I want to select a part of it. I can select the rectangular marquee tool, or the elliptical marquee, or one of the single row or column marquees by holding down our mouse and releasing on the desired tool. As you can see, the letter M is hiding in here. This is the shortcut to this particular tool, so by pressing M in Photoshop, you get the marquee tool. So if I select the rectangular marquee tool, and I want to select a portion of the image like this, I hold down the left mouse button and drag to create a box around the area I want to select. As you can see, the size of the area is being displayed as I draw. In the options window, we can see the various parameters for adjusting the marquee tools. The first option here is to create a preset for this particular tool once you have created a version of the tool you want to save. These four options here are as follows. Number one is new selection. Number two is to add to an existing selection. Number three is to subtract from an existing selection. Number four is to intersect with the selection. And if at any time you cannot remember the function of a tool or option, just let your cursor hover over the button and a reminder will appear like this. The feather option is a feature of selection which allows you to soften the edges of the selection. This along with anti-alias, both of which will be covered in future courses. Style is a selection which determines the way you select, i.e. normal allows you to freeform the selection box manually. Fixed ratio allows you to define a fixed ratio between height and width. And finally, fixed size allows you to set a particular size for your selection. Like this. At any time, I can remove the selection or deselect by pressing Ctrl+D on my keyboard, like this. And remember that at any time you can right-click within a selection to get more selection options, like this. You see here we can deselect and select the inverse, etc. We can explore these later in the course, but feel free to experiment with these yourself. When I'm happy with the selection, I can release the mouse button and there's my selection. Now I can do many things with the selection, such as copy, cut, paste. Let's try a copy and paste. I have pressed Ctrl+C, that's Ctrl+C, to copy and Ctrl+V to paste. Now the selection has been copied and pasted exactly on top of where it came from. Notice the new layer we've created by doing this. Now we will cover layers in more detail later in another course. This layer is the active layer, as you can see by the little white box around the layer thumbnail. So let's play with the newly created layer. We can select another tool. The Move tool, which is here at the top of our tools window, is a very simple tool, yet essential. This tool, as the name suggests, can move objects around our workspace. It does not have a subset of tools, but it does have options. The first option is Auto Select. This removes the need to activate the required layer in order to move it. To demonstrate, I will create another layer using the selection we made earlier. I can copy the selection and paste another version on top. Now we have a background layer, which is our original image, and two copies of our selection on top. If I turn Auto Select on by ticking this checkbox, I can move between active layers without having to select them in the Layers window. Notice in the Layers window that the active layer is changing automatically as I select it. This is a great feature which allows you to move quickly between active layers. The only other option I wish to show you at this stage is the Show Transform Controls option. If I turn it on by ticking this checkbox, the active layer object becomes transformable. You can see this box appears, and I can change the size by dragging the control boxes like this. Just select the control box and hold and drag your mouse, and then release the mouse to complete the adjustment. Then adjust the rotation of the image by hovering outside the corner of the transformation box until you see this little arc, like so. Then click and hold and drag the desired rotation. Or for more specific adjustments, you can enter the desired values up here in the options window. Let's set the angle of rotation, and there it is. Here in the options window, you can see the various transformation parameters: width, height, angle, etc. You can experiment them yourself to have a greater control over your transformation adjustments. When you finish the transformation, you must apply it by pressing Enter on your keyboard. If you don't apply it, when you try to select a different tool, you will be asked to apply, cancel, or don't apply. And it is at this point that you can apply the transformation or not. When you have the Move tool selected, you can use your mouse to drag an object around in the work area, like this. Or you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to make fine adjustments to the position of your object. You can also hold down the Shift key to enhance the mouse adjustments. This allows you to move along the X and Y axes in a straight line with more control than doing it freehand. Don't forget, as with many other programs, you can use Ctrl Z or Ctrl Z to undo any action if you want, or Ctrl plus Alt plus Z to step backwards to a point where you were happy with your work. The Marquee selection tool is used to select part of the image. You can deselect or remove a selection by pressing Ctrl plus D. Activating transform controls allows you to manipulate and transform your selection. The Move tool allows you to move objects within your image. Ctrl plus Z is used to undo an action.